They killed, give me Isaiah 14 and 21. They did the same thing to my people. So that you said that they put millions of my actions. Should a murderer go to jail for murdering? Absolutely. Should a thief go to jail when he steals? Absolutely. Should a robber pay back the money he... So why shouldn't the white man pay for what he did? That's right. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a payback is a dog. It's a dog. I'm in a hell of a hole. Was never expected to grow. Just hustle cool sand in the road. That a resort of me selling my soul. Story and tell. But everyone knows. The white man's a dog. Figure me counting. The trail of my tears is countless. Fact that I'm here is astounding, but I can't wait till this shit is surrounded. Ready to tangle my king and the angel, be ready to rap. Cracking the sky, nuclear missiles are making it official. I'm capturing every cracker surviving. Put them all in chains where they need to be. Slavery for me, and let the whole world see that with them in the cage and safer in the streets. Put the dog on a leash, get resolved for the beast. 144, get the ruler show, we could all be at peace. As soon as the trumpets are sound, your kingdom be busting it down. The only way justice is found, the time for your judgment is now. You'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. Look, ain't no remorse in my blood. It won't be no compromise. Now it's time to feed the worms. Watch his body turn to flies. Our next Glock I buy gon' be Gen 5. I get it customized. And sending shots off like farewell. Praying payback come back around like a carousel. Still remember YAHANNA's words ringing in my head like bells. Said you in his body, you fit a Lord, fuck the cocktail. Triangle choke, apply pressure to the game like I did Vondale. Payback's a bitch in a dress, she a bombshell. Revenge is served cold, I just hope they make an oxtail. Glock fresh out the box, I swear it got that new car smell. Made myself a target in the world of mad shooters. That was designed 5 for our babies to pass through it. And the day of our king's reign, I'll be overzealous. They bought my jealous out for a brand new pair of bellows. One day you'll see just how it feels. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog. Payback is a dog. It's a dog.
Shalom. All right, welcome to another evening in the conflict zone. Looking at conflicts that affect us and set us deep set us back so deep or so far. You know, this week I want to look at Trump make a statement at the AI summit this week. Uh, Hopefully we get into, well, not hopefully, we're going into that one. But we're continuing our part on stolen black inventions. But here what happened now. So the stolen black inventions. One, we soon close the series of still and dive into some more business opportunity. One of the main things we look at in the conference is trying to show you that yeah, it's good to build a business as a black person or any person, any nation, but with zeroing on the blacks, Hispanics, and natives. But there's one reality that we have to face while we build a business. Is that business probably gonna die with us. You know, what we should be doing is really get the opportunity to pass on our accomplishments in that way to our children. That's how you build generational wealth. But that's one thing we have to really look at and or consider. Look at seriously as a people. You know, most businesses to grow, it takes who knows, maybe 5 or more years. You the person who have a passion and you push that passion in getting that business off the ground and up and running and so on and so forth. But there comes a time when we all die. But when that time comes, are we able to pass on our accomplishments to our children? If we can't pass it on, then so there is no generational wealth that is being set up. You check the other nations, they are able to pass on, but for some reason, the very authorities that are amongst us, they are like the thorns in our skin. At the same time, you still have to pay I don't call it, still have to pay taxes and so on, while they find way to kill your business and things. In Jamaica here, alright, many of us know the Bush Stewart story. Bush Stewart come up as he was a heathen. He was a heathen man. Came up with a nothing as far as we know. And then going to, first he was an electronics repair man, right? Then he went into, finally went to hotel. Now he has died a couple of years ago, and his children is still running those hotels. That's generational wealth. So, but for us as blacks, some way or another, they either find a way to buy out your business, offer you more money than it is actually worth at the time that they're offering you just to get you out the way. I mean, there's so many things to take in consideration when we decide to go into business as a black person, which in the truth, what we actually make you know is that, boy, regardless of what you do, you still have to feed yourself one way or another. Many of us here, many of us in our truth, we work for people. So, and then we have our little business on the side. But the main state, our main goal for us here in the truth is to bring Christ back. So, for us, what comes first? Bringing Christ back. So we're trying to encourage man in the world the same thing too, because in the end, all we have is each other. Lucky, some of us might get lucky one generation, but then we quickly take over the business and the business continue. Might get lucky in one generation, but you think you want to get lucky in 2 generations, meaning you pass it to your children and then they pass it to their children. How about 3 generations? Okay, so you see where I'm getting at now. So we have to have things that we can pass on, generational wealth, right? We're not really, that's not our focus here right now. Our focus is to bring Christ back. But when you are trying to feed yourself, like for me, we grow business wise, right? I mean, I might live and die before Christ returns. If I have a business, I would like to pass it to my child, my children. No matter how the children thing is what destroy it too. Pass it to a child. In the scripture, you go to your firstborn. And the firstborn is that the first the firstborn is the first son you have. Which is why we have to we have to also be careful. You just go outside and have children here, there, and everywhere. As a person who have wealth to pass on, man, you can go out and you can imagine you have your wives and for years, and you know have no firstborn with them, and you just go out and get a little quick wife, and you are so the first one that So these are some of the things that rips the family. Alright, so we're going to delve into video. One of the first video I want to look at. The black man here who invented the black man that invented the curtain rod. So we can refresh and get it done. Alright. Good.
Every single day and have no idea it was created by a black man in 1892. Meet Samuel Raymond Scottron, the genius behind the modern curtain rod. Born in 1841, Scottron started as a barber in Massachusetts. But when he noticed customers couldn't see the back of their heads, he invented an adjustable dual mirror system. This sparked his career as one of America's most prolific inventors. Scottron didn't stop at curtains. He created adjustable window cornices, supporting brackets, and even perfected a way to make glass look like onyx. But his most profitable invention, the leather hand strap that trolley passengers used for support while standing. Basically, the first subway handles. Here's what makes his story incredible. Scottron earned an engineering degree from Cooper Union in 1878, became the first African-American on Brooklyn's Board of Education, and served for 8 years. He was also a successful entrepreneur who owned multiple businesses and held real estate worth $60,000, a fortune in that era. Every time you hang curtains, adjust blinds, or grab a subway handle, you're using innovations from Samuel Scottron's brilliant mind. Oh, and here's the final plot twist. He was Lena Horne's great-grandfather. Talent clearly ran in the family. Follow for more hidden black history that shaped.
Right, so, this man invented the curtain rods. And luckily for him, man, he threw all assets of a certain amount. But, I mean, Chinese, they make curtain rods like I don't know what now. I'm sure, even if there's a patent for that in the US, China ain't paying anything. They have no respect for those things. Alright, another one. This man who invented a style of surgery. Form of surgery to save newly born babies.
Became so much more than that. Working alongside Dr. Alfred Blaylock, Thomas spent years perfecting a revolutionary heart surgery through hundreds of animal operations. Blue babies were born with a fatal heart defect that starved their blood of oxygen. Thomas developed the Blaylock-Taussig shunt, a delicate procedure that created a new pathway for blood flow. But because he was black, he couldn't enter operating rooms. Instead, he coached white surgeons from the observation gallery above, guiding them through every cut. In 1944, baby Eileen Saxon became the first successful patient. Her blue skin turned pink as oxygen finally reached her blood. The surgery revolutionized pediatric heart medicine and launched careers. But for decades, Thomas received zero credit, while the white doctors he trained became world-famous cardiac surgeons. His genius was hidden in plain sight.
Alright, so you hear that? Very doctors and where him coach became famous. But because he was black, he couldn't become famous. Let's play that.
Did you know a black carpenter with no medical degree developed the surgery?
Alright, that's finished. Alright, so there are some more. So we can play some more. black town in another black town in California, Allensworth. Facebook.
Stories of the American Dream.
Copy this. Over here. This is another. This one now is about Blacktown. Look at this one. Like I'm going to play the one with the beach store in Portland. You know that MP who caused that who the latest beach uproar in Jamaica. The MP who caused that was voted out. Yeah.
Of the American Dream. Meet Colonel Allen Allensworth, born a slave in 1842, taught himself to read in secret, escaped to join the...
Right, so this man, Colonel Allen, founded a town, Allensworth, back in the days. It was on 800 acre land. And of course, it was killed. These people were building generational wealth. So, you know, that shows you that is one way we should really be looking as a people, you know, while we strive so hard to feed ourselves, you know, is make sure we are working to bring price back. Or you do that, you keep the laws, you don't let them. As a matter of fact, when the other nations start telling about laws are done away with, you just look at them and smile and walk out. I mean, more time they try challenging in the workplace. Maybe you can't argue such points in the workplace. But, I mean, let's say they are entitled to their opinion and you are entitled to yours. But that is opinion. Now, the next part is who were these laws given to? Who was given to them? So it's not for them to tell you that laws done away with and so on. It's for you to know. They will soon find out, but you better know. Let's continue.
Union Army, and became the highest-ranking black officer of his time. But here's what they never tell you. In 1908, Allensworth founded the first California town completely owned and governed by black families. 800 acres of prime farmland with its own school.
All right, listen to that, tell you now. Black town, black people own things in this town. 800 acres of farming.
Library, post.
School, library, post office, church, blah, blah, blah. Some of our towns even have airports, you know. Like Wall Street had an airport. And it had black men there who owned their own jet, own plane. When they had a plane flying black people.
Office.
The thing is, you know, what back then, yeah, they were struggling, they were getting up. But by now, if they were left alone, they would have worked their way out of their struggles. Just like, remember when the Chinese just began, you know, they were struggling. Look at them now. They were left alone. But nobody wants to leave us alone. Everybody wants to vulture on us. Even now, and we're going to get into that shortly.
Office and train station. They named streets after Frederick Douglass and Sojourner Truth, The town was thriving. Families were building generational wealth. Kids were getting
There you go. Families were building generational wealth.
educated. Black businesses were booming.
Black-owned businesses were booming.
And that's exactly why it had to be destroyed.
Because of that, your person, oh no, we can't have that. And they destroy those things.
First, the Pacific Water Company cut off their irrigation supply while giving neighboring white towns 10 wells to Allensworth's 4. When crops started failing, the Santa Fe Railroad mysteriously moved their train stop to the all-white town of Alpaugh, killing Allensworth's economy overnight. Then in 1914, Colonel Allensworth was struck and killed by 2 white men on a speeding motorcycle. They claimed it was an accident.
So you see what happened now? There are persons actively behind the scenes looking to destroy us as a people. They look at how they can destroy this town, and they bring it down until the founder of the town, they bounce him down in old age while they were riding bikes. Bounce him down and kill him.
No charges were ever filed.
And they weren't in charge.
Within a decade, the town was a ghost town. By the 1960s, arsenic was discovered in their remaining water supply, forcing out the last residents. Today, fewer than 600 people know this story exists. They turned America's first black-owned California town into a tiny state park that most people drive past without stopping. This is what happens when success threatens the system. Follow for more buried black excellence. You think you know story?
Right, so this is just like the Black Panther Party. When the Black Panther Party start out, before they become, this gun-toting gunslingers, marching around with their guns. The very, I think, president at the time, when they formed the party, they had school breakfast programs. Them things that really just happen in Jamaica. School breakfast program. Going to schools and prepare a breakfast for the students in the school. Like the president at that time, no, we can't have that. That's dangerous. So if you don't want them feeding children in schools, look at what is happening today. What are blacks doing? Slinging guns, killing each other, killing other people. Why are you still saying, no, we can't have that? Because you want us to look bad, so that you can look good. But I can just tell you, you need to look good, not the oppressor. The oppressor won't him looking good and you looking bad won't bring Christ back. You follow them laws, Christ will guide you through. But you trying to know that they're after you even today. Alright? Alright. Can I touch the one from Trump as yet? Oh, Portland. Let me touch the Portland, Jamaica beach story now. Let me search it. Don't have it too. Alright, I start again. check. I think it is on check YouTube. I know it might be on Facebook, but let me check YouTube. I saw Buchanan. This is one off. I saw Buchanan and Marie Vibes. This is the man who took out who get Vibes Cartel out of power, out of prison. But before we touch on, let me play the Portland Beach problem that was when they were complaining that they're stealing the beach. There's so many other stories I think we don't touch them. Not tonight. Same black towns destroyed black town, lynchings and so on and so forth. I don't know if we're gonna get into it. I don't know if we're going to, but we'll soon close these series. History of beach ownership. This is the one more. That one can do.
On the Jamaica, 108 miles. Now these tiny white slivers that you see are the only spots where locals are able to access the beach. Less than 5 miles out of 148 miles. Montego Bay, 14 miles of beach. Locals have access to 4,000 feet. And of course we know where the origin.
We'll talk about beach in Jamaica. This beach story is still, even though talking about Portland, talking about beach in general, because it's not only Portland.
Out of 148 miles. Montego Bay, 14 miles of beach. Locals have access to 4,000 feet. And of course, we know where the origins come from. Colonialism. Let's get started and learn something new.
I learned such an insane stat the other day. Jamaica has around 148 miles of recreational sandy beaches, but less than 5 miles of those are publicly accessible to everyday Jamaicans.
Along this coast, we can only enter the beach right here. All of this we can't.
Which is really shocking because so much of the country's image is rooted in its beaches. However, there's maybe a clue as to why in all of its imagery. But how exactly that came to be is a complicated journey, from colonialism and a transition of power that kept the rights of access in the hands of a few powerful people.
We're becoming a landlocked country. We are locked out, and it's our own people doing this, and this is symptomatic along the entire goddamn North Coast.
So how have Jamaicans been blocked from accessing their own beaches? The roots of this story go back to a brutal truth. After slavery was abolished in Jamaica in 1838, the descendants of enslaved Africans were never given land by the British. Instead, large swathes of fertile land and coastal space were retained by colonial elites or sold off to incoming wealthy families, cementing a system where Black Jamaicans remain landless in their own country. There is a lot of nuance here, and it's quite a complicated period of history that we don't have time to fully get into now, but I have put some resources in the video description if you're interested. Over 100 years later, in 1956, Jamaica's colonial government passed the Beach Control Act, which declared that all beaches were owned by the Crown. That's the British monarchy. The government said that the act was intended to protect the beaches for everyone, but in reality what happened was that licenses were created for use of the beaches, and these were handed to private developers and luxury resorts, a pattern that still shapes Jamaica's beaches today. The Beach Control Act made this pretty clear. No person shall be deemed to have any right in or over the foreshore, except as may be granted by virtue of this act. Which means the right to the beach isn't a right at all. It's something the state can give or take away. This remained the case even after Jamaica gained independence in 1962 and continues to this day. Jamaica's beaches are still legally vested in the British Crown, meaning the King still holds ownership through his representative, the Governor-General. The Governor-General appoints the Commissioner of Lands, who sits inside the Prime Minister's office. The Prime Minister is Andrew Holness, who, together with the Commissioner of Lands, decides who gets beach access. But the chain of authority still traces back to the King. Many politicians themselves are now deeply invested in real estate and the tourism industry, profiting from the very system that keeps ordinary Jamaicans out. For example, Jamaica's Prime Minister, Andrew Holness, and his family had over 161 million Jamaican dollars in assets as of 2019, with more than $125 million listed under real estate mortgages, receivables, and business investments too. Meanwhile, leader of the opposition, Mark Golding, earned over 56 million Jamaican dollars in real estate income in 2022. And figures from Jamaica's wealthiest families are embedded in the government too. Adam Stewart, executive chairman of Sandals Resorts, was appointed by the Prime Minister as Jamaica's special investment envoy for tourism. That means one of the country's most powerful hotel magnates now helps shape national tourism policy. This history isn't distant, it's alive, and colonial control still shapes who gets to enjoy paradise. Which is why I spoke to Dr. Devon Taylor, a founding member of the environmental movement JABEM, Jamaica.
All right, so man, there's seems to be a problem here. Right, so Jamaica have a beach problem. Now, since of lately, where the problem reared head was in Portland. Let's play this interview. Alright, so you know, this is the man who got vibes cartel off his case, and he's now a politician. Well, he was a politician when he was representing Vibes Cartel. But let's listen to this. Oh, this is This is a next one channel, whatever I know. Let's be honest. I don't know what the interview one here, you know. But this is not our work. It's not the work of ISUPK Jamaica. It's in the public domain. We're just using it for educational purposes. I don't come fool on our videos. All right.
If a dirty convict boy like ISUPK can turn lawyer and go speak before the Privy Council and is now a member of Parliament, the possibilities are endless for the sons and daughters of Jamaica. Jay, I want you and all young people to be better than me. You know what type of Jamaica we would have?
We would have a Jamaica with youths that are inspired, but them feel like the life.
Action and check for yourself, Jeffrey. The day in December 12th, 20 called to the bar 276. Check the outrage. I did the Rasta case, outrage. I stopped the state of emergency. This identical public outrage. Free Vibes Cartel, outrage. Yeah. There was a point when I traveled with Vibes Cartel when he was sick, and we went to St. Vincent. People said, when me are doing a private jet, me turn security guard. Public outrage. Now he has lawyers traveling up and down and other people who are around. No outrage. It's quite okay for, I don't know what quality of people they are, but it has always been me. Mm-hmm. So when people saw 63 candidates and I was one of them, it was a problem for some people. My only response to that is, let's not, I am not going to encourage people who support me to tear her down. I don't believe in tearing down people. That's why when I ran my campaign, I never once had to say anything that was derogatory or disrespectful to her, even though she directed the disrespectful vitriol at me.
And not only her husband as well. Her husband pulled the
as a two-time convict deportee, you can't have your good son and daughters and not want them to be lawyers. If can Parliament, the possibilities are endless for the sons and daughters of Jamaica. Jay, I want you and all young people to be better than me. You know what type of Jamaica we would have?
We would have a Jamaica with youth that are inspired to seek greatness. A lot of them youth here, them want change in a life.
All right, so this is the man who unseated. So what was happening at the time is that it's like, okay, what we play about the law, the beach law, and that her while she was MP, you know, public beaches were being taken away. I said, nah, man, this feeling of entitlement, not really goes up. So in other words, we never did own the beaches in the first place, but we had access to all of the beaches because nobody really owned the beach. You own the property before the beach. The beach is by law from the shoreline a certain amount of feet in, that's the beach. And then private property will begin after that. But these privileged private property owners, they want to own that private property and to own the beach in front of their private property up to the shoreline. Security guard there, that's illegal, but who is giving the people justice? Right? So it was happening in Portland, and this one unseated MP and that and it was happening. So let's see what happened in Portland if it continues on, because at the end of the day, the king won't beach them. The king owns the beaches. Anyway, the king is just a figure in Jamaica. You can't go there from up, no nice. Alright. I'm play a chunk and then we're going to have some scriptures. Because there's a new thing coming out on blacks and Hispanics, this AI thing. I'm not targeting you with AI, but they have seen over the years the things that blacks have invented. Many of them now owned by other nations, especially the oppressor, Caucasian oppressor. So it's like now they want to do and try a same thing, a similar thing with they call it AI. President Trump was at a summit, AI summit. President Trump was at an AI summit. I'm not sure where it was, but he was giving his speech. Let's listen to what he says.
This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything.
All right. So if you notice, all the things that Trump named, we invented this so and so, so and so, so. They were black inventions. Well, black people invented those things. If white people invented some things, of course, white people invented things too. Now, watch the psychology of these people. This is how they blow the dogs from time to time. Why didn't he name any of the white inventors? Why is only black inventors he named? Let's play that part again.
That invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated circuit, and even the internet. Basically, we invented everything. What is left?
All right, so he named the thing that blacks invented. He's at an AI summit. Watch the dog we see.
We invented everything, and now it's AI.
Now it's AI. He didn't name the things that whites invented, he named the things that black invented. So people know the things that the blacks invented and what they have now. So you see all this move that he's making, putting troops on the ground, getting out foreigners, them say illegal immigrants. The aim, all these people, one more time, they were all black Americans. They were Judites. All of them.
Put America first.
They were all Judites.
This is a nation that invented the light bulb, the telegraph, the television, the telephone, the computer chip, the smartphone, the GPS, the integrated television, the telephone.
telephone or Latimer.
The computer.
Alexander Bell get the patent for the telephone, but Latimer was the one who did. African American inventor in computer engineering.
Chip, the smartphone.
Smartphone, Jesse Russell. Cell phone inventor.
The GPS, the
Gladys West, the GPS. This is Frank Green.
integrated circuit.
Integrated circuit by Frank Green.
And even the internet.
And the internet, these 4 black inventors, tech pioneers, you should know.
Basically, we invented everything.
Right. But remember, White invented something and he did not name them here. Because this is how they build white wealth. Like, keep the black people want to own businesses and talking about generational wealth. No time for that. Pressure them. Put them in, let them go and invent some things with AI. And then we will get to own them. That is the dark wisdom. This is what he's talking about in this AI summit. Trump don't know say white man I can't invent nothing. Much, you know. Invent things, yes, but a lot of those inventions taken away from blacks. I mean, airplane, it wasn't even there.
What is left? We invented everything. And now it's AI. We invented everything. Does anyone have anything else to say?
Right. So, the scripture don't know them still. That's why we say we should all as blacks, Hispanics, and Native really be following the scriptures, you know. Isaiah 51 and 23. Let's see what Isaiah 51 and 23 says. Because this scripture lets you understand what this game is about. You know? Isaiah 51 and 23. But I will put it in the hand of them that afflict thee, talking about the cup of trembling, which have said to thy soul, and this is what they have said to our soul, bow down, that we may go over. So since World War II, they have crossed over to where they are now on the backs of black Hispanics and Natives. And now it's time for AI, which is a whole new field of inventions again. And now they are saying it again. Bow down, that we may go over. And thou hast laid thy body as the ground and as the street to them that went over. Meaning, how did the wealth in the West start? Slavery. After slavery, Reconstruction period, they come in with what they call it crop sharing. Black people never benefit from that. Jim Crow West, Jim Crow South, Jim Crow South was later on. Period of the Reconstruction, World War, right after 2004, World War II. And then kill them, desecrate over 100 black towns and things. Thriving black town, black people feeding themselves and making families and having their own community. And what did they do? Take them out. So that this new technological age, which was at its dawn after World War II, 1 and 2, you know, America, when you look at some inventions that they had there, check for instance the B-52 bomber, like from 1940 something. I don't know if it flew in World War II, but they had it way down there, and it is still one of the classified airplanes now that they have. they have so many things that many of these had black inventors behind them. But what many of them did was to build on what we started, what they took from us. Now, AI then is the next spin after World War III. Whichever nation come out on top after World War III, AI is going to put them in the next probably 100 years where America is now in terms of world dominance, power, monetary power, to the money rule the world, so on and so forth, you name it. But then they will not be able to do this without blacks, Hispanics, and Native American, which is why Trump could have gone and tell the Chinese, we want to corner the AI market. Yeah, who do you think we corner it with? Blacks, Hispanics, and Natives in his pockets. Yeah. We in Jamaica made our contribution to the technological age too. The invention, the major inventions we did was the invention of behind the wrought iron, which I made a white man stole, go to England and get patent on it. And he lose it after because maybe they find out what happened. He lose it after them, only find some fraud charge and things. But really and truly, it was invented by some blacks out here. Some were free, some were not. But England take all of them, carry them go back to England along with the foundry, the machines used in the foundry. And then wrought iron became the spin for the industrial age in terms of making train lines and buildings and so on and so forth. All them steel buildings, steel frame, all them tall buildings you see, it's steel frame. The frame of the building is made from steel. And they wouldn't have achieved all that if it wasn't for that, for the ability to mass produce wrought iron. When you make wrought iron first, you eat it and you take the hammer, you beat it. You can't get nowhere fast with that. So what the black inventors did was to make this big wheel. You eat the iron and you just roll it over it. And it take out the impurities. The weight of the iron act as the hammer and roll out the impurities in about one row. Good to go. They were able to make train lines. Well, they spin off from the train lines. Well, imagine now we put our heads now and invent things in AI, and then we are able to take it away. Just imagine the wealth that they would get. That's what they are after. All right. Lamentations 4, 18 to 20. And close out with Lamentations 4. Alright, so Lamentations 4 and 18 to 20. They hunt our steps that we cannot go in our streets. Our end is near, our days are fulfilled. For our end is come. So this is what they are doing now. Not inventing a darn thing. What they're doing, going in on Venezuela, putting in the military in the streets. Chicago, a lot of black people in Chicago, a lot of black people in DC. Wherever these troops are going, a lot of black people is there. All they want to do is control them, control the blacks. So they're putting in the military first. When they strike the hammer, whichever way they plan to strike the hammer, and you start to revolt like we did in the 60s, then guess what? Crackdown. Soldiers is already there. Yeah. Our persecutors are swifter than the eagle of the heaven. They pursued us upon the mountains. They laid wait for us in the wilderness. 20. Breath of our nostrils, the anointed of the Lord, was taken in their pits, of whom we said, under a shadow we shall live among heathen. Under the shadow of the Most High. You see, these are the man. This one man mainly we hide from how long now? The time of the Grecians, which is approximately 2,000, probably 300, 2,300 years now. And one way to solve the problem, right? And is for us to do nice spot. Keep those laws, do the work, come in the truth, commanding General YAHANNA. Right? Everybody have the guts to do anything, but sending your tithes, nonetheless, most I might see it fit to smile on you because you are contributing financially to the cause of raising up these people. Don't be afraid to throw in the tithes. ISUPK.com and pay your tithes. Right? I mean, we are in perilous time. You see what is moving now, and the chessboard, the pieces are putting together, coming closer and closer to that time. Right? Countries secretly agreeing that we are in World War III now. Yeah, they know that these conflicts that are breaking out is all part of World War III. It doesn't matter. Like when some people, you have a wound, a person might have a wound, and it look like it's getting better and thing, until one day just break out. Right, below the surface, it's festering until it break out one day. That's what is going to happen. That's what is, we don't see it yet. So Brian said, going to happen. But it's really happening. Right? You watch what is happening in the Middle East. But it's going to be so sudden. So you don't bother think that you can watch it and, jump the ship when it's about to sink. It don't work like that. You find a way now, come over here so that we can wake up more brothers and sisters. Anyway, this is the conflict zone. T. Will Williams. Yeah, big up my brother. Shout out to this T. Williams. I don't know if you're a brother or what, but shout out to T. Will Williams. Anyway, shout out to you. Oh, it says 100, 200, all right. Until next week again, this is the conflict zone. We're looking at. We have so many of the black stories we're going to touch it. Maybe we touch it one more time or two more time and then we switch into some possible business opportunities. Until then, we say shalom.